What's up, guys? Sebastian Castillo here. It is late Monday night. I just finished the whole workday, and I want to talk about some recent experiences, namely approaching some chicks and some work in sales that I did today. And maybe it'll help you. So, obviously, you're going to notice that, yes, I did cut my hair, and yes, I'm wearing a hat because the haircut was pretty shitty, but I guess I shouldn't have expected anything particularly good for $2.50 at the neighborhood salon where the lady was wearing a fucking mask, right? So I'm gonna have to head out to the barber tomorrow to fix this up. But the important thing is that now it's shorter and it's not gonna look super crazy like it was before, because the problem is when you have frizzy curly hair is that, I mean, it looks pretty decent after you wash it, maybe a day after you wash it, but then it starts to get ridiculously frizzy and it looks unkempt and just horrible. So actually the main reason I decided to cut it was because yesterday, Sunday, I went out to the beach, and I went out to the beach every single Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because I want to take advantage of the fact that it's high season in Cancun right now. And the previous week, I noticed when I was at the beach that there's just way more people than usual, which also meant a lot more chicks and a lot more opportunities to go and chat them up and see if I can make something happen. And that's part of one of my New Year's goals. I really just want to make this year the year that I talk to more women than I ever have ever, and I really get what I want in terms of relationships. All right. So I I'm actually pretty proud of myself, even though nothing came of it yesterday in terms of phone numbers or any concrete plans. I the approaches I did were to groups of girls. Okay, so the very first group was just a pair of local girls. Didn't really see, nothing came of that. The second approach was with a pair of Brazilian chicks who were on vacation. Nothing came of that either. And then the third approach was with three really fucking hot Argentinian girls. And they were right on the shoreline. So in front of this big, massive people on the beach, everyone could see them. And as I was walking, I was actually about to leave, and then they caught my eye, and I thought to myself, this is going to take a lot of guts to go up and approach these girls in front of everyone. But I figured, what the fuck? What do I have to lose? So I did it. And yeah, not a good reaction. It was very obvious that they weren't very interested in me. I think I could have made something work with one of them, but when you're in the moment, it can be difficult. It's like people who watch sports, right? You know, they're sitting in a bar, and they're comfortable, they're sipping a beer, they're watching guys play soccer or hockey or whatever it is. They're yelling at the TV, they're saying, "Oh yeah, do this, do that." When you're not in that position, you're not in the heat of the moment, you don't understand what it's like. Okay? And so looking back, yeah, I probably could have chatted up this one girl a little bit more, because once I approached and I introduced myself and I just said, "Hey, I want to meet you girls," two of them just kind of made a disgusted face and turned around and left. And I thought, whatever. But the one was, she seemed like kind of on the fence, and I just kind of left because I felt like she wasn't that interested in whatever. The important thing is I made it happen. But as I was walking away, I was thinking to myself, could it be that it's because I just look like a bum with my hair? And at the beach, it was particularly windy. So I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to finally just give it a chop. And at the very least, that way, with a shorter hairstyle, I can manage it and I can look more presentable. Because I love my long hair. I think it looks really freaking cool. But I don't really have the resources to take care of it, and I'm not really interested in washing it every single day, or at least every 2 or 3 days, to maintain it and look and keep it looking nice and fresh, right? So I was thinking to myself that one of the main reasons why I was getting these rejections so much recently is because these girls just thought I looked like a bum or something like that, right? Although, of course, I'm never going to actually know the reason. It could have been any number of things. And then I want to touch on some stuff that happened today with sales. So I took a couple of my first closing calls this weekend and they didn't close. I had 4 more calls this week and today and they didn't close. And this has all been over the phone selling a weight loss coaching program. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that typically what I'm used to is that when an appointment setter speaks to a prospect, they make sure that they accomplish basically 2 main things. One is to financially qualify them and make sure that they actually have the money for the investment and that they're willing to spend the money if it makes sense for them. And then secondly, just to make sure that everything is logistically set up correctly, that they are in a position to take advantage of whatever's being sold, whether it's an Airbnb investment, whether it's a done-for-you Amazon store, whether it's a program to lose weight, whatever it is. But with this current setup right now, there is no financial qualification being done. And I've had a couple of calls now where I'll get to the end and I'll let the prospect know that, okay, there is an investment involved here. And then they'll tell me, oh, I thought it was free. Or they'll tell me, no, it's too expensive. Or they'll tell me, oh no, I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't realize that this is going to be a pitch for another program. So I thought to myself, okay, why am I wasting my time, 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes speaking to these people when they had no intention at all of getting into a program? You know what I mean? But see, the thing is, if everything always goes smoothly for you, then you're never going to develop grit, and you're never going to figure out how never going to develop the skills that you need to overcome people's objections and to figure out how to meet these people halfway and get them to do what you want, which is to buy. But not necessarily all the time, because in some cases it really just isn't a good fit, and that's totally understandable. But based on what I've been hearing from a lot of these people, they need weight loss, right? A lot of these people were telling me, I've got high blood pressure, I'm borderline diabetic, I'm weighing 225 pounds and I'm 5'6". I've been dealing with this for 5 years, 10 years. But when it comes to investing in a 12-week program for $1,600, which isn't a massive amount of money when you think about it, especially when you consider that this program is being run by a team of coaches, namely a coach who's been in the business for 28 years and who actually pioneered the idea of online fitness coaching, believe it or not. Like, he was literally one of, if not the very first individual to come out with an online fitness coaching program. I mean, it's also guaranteed success, right? But they just don't see it that way. So my job here is to convey everything in the absolute best possible light and to shine a light on any of the BS excuses and stories that these people might have been telling themselves, because I'm speaking to people who are over the age of 50 years old. If they're speaking to, and they can tell that I'm young just by my voice, right? So it's based on what I think here is that older people don't like to listen to younger people, right? They don't like to take any kind of advice from younger people. A lot of them would consider it an affront to their ego and an insult to their intelligence. I had one guy today say something like, "Oh, I didn't want to waste my time being asked a bunch of obvious questions. I'm not stupid." And then I'm thinking to myself, no one ever said you were stupid, man. But now that you're mentioning it, I think you are pretty stupid for not getting on this program. I didn't say this, but I think he's pretty stupid for not getting on this program, because you're clearly fucking overweight and you clearly need some help, but you're just going to try and figure it out on your own when you've been struggling with this for years and you've gotten nowhere. So it's just like, Obviously, parting with $1,600 is a lot more painful to this guy based on the information that I conveyed to him than, you know, getting some weight loss, than continuing to live as he is, being a fat fuck and not feeling confident, having all these health issues, which is fine. He can go fuck himself, right? But again, without making this video too long and convoluted, the main thing I'd like to touch upon that's related to both of these experiences, trying to pick up these chicks at the beach and making these sales calls, is that even when you're being faced with constant rejection, right? I did about 5 approaches in total yesterday. All of them bombed. Most of them just ended up with the girls kind of turning away or showing an obvious lack of interest. And then on these 4 calls I had today, all of them gave me some kind of objection. One of them was, I don't need coaching, I'll do this myself. Another one was, I can't afford it, or I need to think about it. Another one was, I need to see something in writing because I'm still not very clear on what this is. I don't really doubt that this program can help me, but I want to know what I'm getting into. Right? All sorts of bullshit. For a moment, I just thought to myself, geez, like, this kind of fucking sucks, right? Like, I'm not getting the success I want with chicks. I'm not getting the success I want in business. Is there something fucking wrong with me? Then I realized that no, there's nothing fucking wrong with me. I just need to level the fuck up. I just need to be real with myself, sit down and think, okay, I need to really take some time to figure out what the fuck is going on here and fix it. So, hence the haircut. Hence me listening back on the calls I made today. Hence me looking through the notes that I've taken during the trainings that I have access to, as part of this sales role, because I get access to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday group trainings on sales and business and mindset, which is great, and I'm super thankful for it. Taking the time to just eliminate possibilities, asking myself why this happened, right? And preparing myself for these things when they come up the next time. So one thing I'll give away right now, which I thought was super valuable, I was listening to one of the calls that ended up closing from another member of our team. And now the funny thing is, once I listened to the full thing, I realized that a lot of these calls that have closed offered very little resistance. In fact, there was one that a team member closed this the other day where they got no objections. It was what's called a lay down sale. So yeah, fucking obviously you closed it, dude. Like, you didn't really have to put much of an effort. Just read the goddamn script, right? Anyone could have done that. And then there was one where this guy, this sales rep, he's speaking to this prospect. Prospect says, well, it's a little expensive, blah, blah, blah. And then the sales guy said something like, okay, I understand. That's totally no problem. So let me ask you, based on what we've talked about today, do you believe that this program is actually going to help you? The guy says, yeah, I do, blah, blah, blah. He says, okay, so what I'm hearing here is it's not necessarily a question of if you should get into this program, but really it's just a matter of making things work financially. Am I hearing that right? Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, I definitely don't want money to get in the way of you achieving your goals here. You know, we've helped quite a few different people in all sorts of situations, right? So we want to definitely try to work something out here. Now, our boss, our manager, whatever, I'm not going to say his name, has told you through email now that we have a limited amount of spots. So what I think we can do is, if I could split the payments up, would that make things more feasible for you? And the guy said, yeah. Well, what do you have in mind? And then he said, well, I can do a three pay or a 2 pay. What would work best for you? And the guy said, well, I think the 3 pay option would be feasible. And he says, okay, great. So will that be on debit or credit? And then he proceeds to process the payment. So, I mean, I'm thankful again that I got that I got this resistance. I was even listening to one of these audio programs that I bought from Mr. Locario recently, and I love them. They're great. They're a great way to be learning while I'm on the go, while I'm on the bus to the beach or whatever. And he said you actually want to appreciate when you run into girls who are uncooperative. And for all the knuckleheads out there, I want to clarify: uncooperative simply means that the girl shows an obvious lack of interest in continuing to speak with you, or is not flirting back with you when you express your intentions with her. Okay? He said you have to be thankful for these kinds of girls because they make you ponder. They make you sit down and think, okay, why did this happen? What can I change? How can I improve my strategy? What can I change about how I'm presenting myself in the moment so that I can actually get what I want, and so that I can, when I do present myself to these women, or when I do present a product or service to my prospects, that I maximize the chances that it's going to close, because that's what I'm after, right? With girls, I'm not looking to sit down and spend 20, 30 minutes just chit-chatting and getting to know her. I want to get to know these girls. I don't want to just end up going out with girls who are vapid fucking whores who have nothing else going on in their lives. Obviously, I would prefer women who are willing to support me and cooperate and have something interesting to add, intellectually, spiritually, and all that. But the most important thing initially is sexual chemistry and compatibility, because if that's not there, then that's a platonic relationship, and I'm not fucking interested in that. I deserve more than that, right? And you should consider the same thing for yourself. You don't have to waste time. I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but you don't have to waste time building rapport and getting to know a girl for her to be in and want to fuck you. You know what I mean? I'm just noticing I look so fucking skinny in this shirt. Maybe it's just because of the cut, or maybe I've just lost a lot of weight recently. Fuck. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. I hope you can take something away from this. Mainly, what I want you to take away from this is that you can't let circumstances get you down. Like if you're facing constant rejection, if it's coming from girls, if it's coming from prospects or whatever, it does not mean that what you have and who you are isn't desirable and that you don't have any value. We all have a ton of fucking value. It all really comes down to your communication skills and what you're conveying. And even then, there are still factors outside of your control, and you're not going to be able to close everyone. That's just the way it is. So consider that, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.